The advantage of data collection is that the software tracks time more accurately. The information is in real time, meaning you can know exactly where a job, an employee, or a machine is right from your desk. No additional administrative tasks of rekeying data. You don't have to take the timesheets and re-input them into the system. This can get to be quite a big task once you get above 20-30 employees. Information is immediate and accurate. And what we mean by that is I could be sitting at my desk and wondering where job 330 is, and I could punch that into my system, and I could automatically get a listing of all the real-time activities that affect that job. It shows me the employees, what tasks have been done, what quantities have been run, and what times those tasks occurred at. Once we've gathered all the data, we can start to analyze it. We can analyze data many ways, and our data can be analyzed on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, whatever time frame you want. Some of the analysis you might want to do is, first of all, measure chargeable time versus non-chargeable time for your employees. So we could get a listing of the employees, how many hours they worked, how many of those hours were chargeable, how many were non-chargeable, percentage chargeable time. If an employee has, say, less than 70% chargeable time, then we should consider what his role is in the company. We can also measure activity on equipment. Remember, we're measuring make-readies, runs, cleanups, waiting for OKs, maintenance, repairs. We can then see how many of those hours were spent, or how many of the hours were spent on each of those activities, and we can make analysis from that. So if, for example, our repair and maintenance hours were starting to go up, maybe it's time to start to look at a new piece of equipment. We can also look at productivity analysis, and this is very important to our industry. We're a job-oriented manufacturing business, meaning we basically have an estimating process that we use to bring work into the shop, and then we try to produce that work profitably. Therefore, it's vital that the standards that we're using in estimating reflect what we're achieving out on the shop floor. If, for example, we're estimating at $5,000 an hour on a piece of equipment, but we're only actually achieving $4,000 an hour, we're losing money every time we win a job. If we're conversely, if we're quoting at $4,000 an hour and we're actually running at $5,000 an hour, we are not winning jobs that we could be producing profitably. So, for example, a report on this could be run, and for this time period it could tell us that the press did 4.4 million impressions, and it took us 1,700 hours to run those impressions, which gives us an average of 2,500 per hour. Now, we think we're achieving $4,000 an hour. Well, if we were, it should have only taken us 1,100 hours to run that 4.4 million, so we're only actually working at a 63% efficiency. We can also do this for employees. Maybe a lot of the employees are meeting the standards, certain employees aren't, so they need more training. So we can again run that same type of report, only this time showing it on an employee basis. We can also run actual versus estimate reports. So when a job is complete, we can compare how we estimated it on an hours and dollars basis to how we actually ran the job. And the important thing here is if we see any variances on this report that are outside our tolerance level, then we have to investigate those reports and see why. Was it something just very specific to this job, or is it something systematic that I need to look at more closely? We can also get histories of jobs. So if we rerun this job and we want to know what our requirements are based on the last time we ran it, we can certainly pull off reports that show us each employee that worked on that job last time it was in the plant, and it will show us the employees, the number of hours, and the costs associated with each task. We can also manage our employees through information technology. So if, for example, the second shift has started and I want to very quickly know if I'm short any people on that shift, I could run a report like this, which will show me people who have not clocked in. Also can monitor things like people clocking in early and clocking out late. If you do the math on people clocking in 5 5 minutes early, 5 minutes late over an entire year, that can add up to a lot of money. So I think simply through labor benefits alone, we can provide an excellent return on any investment you make in information technology. But once we have the technology out in the plant, we can do so many other things with it. One of the things we can do is we can increase communication, which leads to improved quality. I think we've all heard the old saying, stop talking and get back to work. Well, I don't think that's overly conducive either to good quality or improved productivity. I think a better statement is, communicate and get back to work. Now, especially with binderies and finishers, we are sort of last in the production process, and therefore any extra time that might have been in the schedule is long gone by the time the job gets to us. So it's even more important that communication be prompt and accurate. What I've done here is I've tried to sketch out sort of my idea of the information flow in a typical bindery or finisher. I think the overall idea is that it's very linear. A customer phones up and has order information. A CSR takes that information, creates the paperwork for that job. We kind of hope the CSR remembers all the special ways that customer wants his jobs produced. We hope somebody remembers that we had problems with this job last time we did it. Usually there's more detail than fits on our normal documents, so we have to attach them somehow, and we hope they don't get lost. And then the information has to go out to the plant, and then there's all these other sort of people on the other side of production managers, shipping, accounting, that we have to get the information to as well. That process gets complicated even more when there's changes. A customer phones up and has a change. A CSR basically has to create all new paperwork, has to replace the old paperwork with the new paperwork. We have to hope nobody made copies of the old paperwork we're not aware of. We kind of have to remember all of the knowledge of the CSR, the past problems, the detailed notes all get attached, and then we have to get all of that change information over to the other people on the other side of production. When you get into an information technology environment, it becomes a much more centralized system. We want to create an electronic order that has everything electronically attached to it. So as soon as you create an electronic order, the electronic customer profile is available. The problems we had previously running this job are automatically attached. Any detailed notes we can attach electronically to the job ticket, so they're not going to get lost. And then the big advantage is everybody is accessing this electronic version. They're both reading it and adding information to it. So everybody's always dealing with the most up-to-date information. Even the customer, he could go the conventional way through the CSR, but we could even give things like online applications, which we'll talk about shortly, where they could actually read and write to the electronic order as well. So everybody's always using the one document. It's always up to date. It's always current. Just have a brief video to show you how this would work. The system and is then available throughout the plant. The employees can then simply click on Order View, barcode in the job number that they want to look at, and they immediately have access to the electronic order. They also have access to the notes, the profile, and problems associated with this job. They simply click on the Notes button and they can read the notes. And the same with the customer profile and any problems and solutions. Information is accurate and instantaneous.